Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe you.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing on this glorious Monday? Gunny, how are you, sir?
Good, man. Feeling a little bit better. Have one more dose of antibiotics to take, and then I'll be done with that for a little bit. Hopefully a lot of it. And then, obviously, this week is going to be busy. Eldora Thursday night, Ohio Challenge Friday and Saturday, back to Eldora on Saturday night as well. So yeah, getting busy with the team, getting back out there and give my wife a break, I guess, from my grumpy ass.
Yeah, she probably is ready for you to get back out on the road.
Oh, for sure. It's been too long. We've been together too much. From her. I'm not saying that. I want to spend all the time I can with my lovely wife.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, you're ready to get back out on the road. She's ready for you to get back out on the road.
Yeah.
And do amazing things with Team Fast Tracks, and the good guys or Blue Skies. Yeah, for the good guys and gals Warrior Foundation. So yeah, I'm super excited for you to get back into the groove of things and get your busy season, rocking and rolling. So
yeah, I mean, next month, man, it's gonna be stupid. August football season, right? We're going to be busy from then to the end of the year. So looking to be a great football season. We've already added a couple new schools and some schools that we've visited in the past that are having us back out. So, yeah, I'm excited for that.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. And then, when you guys jump with the American flag. You jump with the honor and remember flag. You guys do all kinds of cool things when you jump into the sports stadiums and stuff like that. So I love it. Hopefully, I get to see it in person one day. From ground level and just watch what you guys do.
Yeah, well, I mean, Warrior Weekend's coming up, man. I think they jump into every freaking event for Warrior Weekend. So
I know. We'll have to figure it out. Hopefully, y'all get to do a U of L game too. That'd be pretty neat if y'all get to do that. I know they bring in.
Yeah, if we do that one, we usually do the mascot and only the mascot. So it's just our dude with the mascot, and that's it. We usually don't jump the American flag there. It's just the mascot jump.
Heck yeah! So today, man, today was an overcasted day here in my little part of Kentucky. It wasn't as hot as it has been, but it was very humid today because there was a lot of water in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
it tried to rain a few times, but it didn't really. Like it sprinkled a few times, but nothing heavy. I was hoping we'd have a good little downpour, but it didn't. Thankfully, we didn't, because then it probably would have made it hotter, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think we're supposed to get some storms later tonight. I don't know. It might miss us. We're kind of like that. We're in that sweet spot where it either goes north and hits Louisville directly right along the Ohio River, or it goes south of us and it hits, Barstown and below us. So we're kind of in that little sweet spot, whether we're going to get rain or not. So we'll see.
It's the same here too. I mean, if it stays on the river, we usually catch like the tail end of it. But recently, it's been hitting the south. I mean, we did get it pretty good the other night, and I blamed it on me putting my flag back up because I took it down. We had some pretty hard winds, and I put my flag back up, and man, winds cranked, and the rain drops felt like they were as big as my microphone.
Heck yeah! No, I love rain. Of course, in the Marine Corps, if it ain't raining, we ain't training.
Absolutely.
I
think that's any infantry unit.
Yeah.
Anytime the infantry's in the field, God's like, I want to make them grow. Let me put some rain on them. You know what I mean? It's sick humor, right?
Yeah, that's like that 11 days in friggin' South Korea out there.
Oh, that sucked.
In Pohang.
Yeah.
Pohang. 11 days straight in that monsoon. It was fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, though. 11 days with no dry gear. Yeah, no.
No. Sleeping in the rice paddies and having Mr. Kim and his son bring us noodle cups and hot water.
Yeah, that was fun. That was the good part. Miss Andrea, how are you, my dear? Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, no, that still sucked. I would not. That's one thing I would not want to go back and do, is spend, those days in the field in Korea in October, November, when it rained on us.
Oh yeah. I'm right there with you.
Hard pass.
Yeah, we'll have to pass. No more MRE throwables into the rice paddies either.
That was Shoemaker
and me.
I know.
At least I didn't get an NJP for that.
Yeah,
which is I'm lucky for that. But hey,
that's good. That's because First Aren't Shine took it easy on you guys.
Yeah,
he just took your Osan Libo away.
Yeah. No club love for the night. Oh man. But no, I'm super excited about our guest tonight, man.
How did club love bring you into our guest?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Willis, come on now. You gotta have a better transition than that.
I know, right? I know. Well, it's all about morale and reaching out to people.
Yeah, okay, I got it. I'm with you.
So, tonight we got Justin Miller, who's the co-founder, or one of the co-founders of the Objective Zero, which is, you can go to their website here. I'll throw it up on the screen. Right now I have ours, but we'll throw Objective Zero up. So you can go to objectivezero.org, check out the website, and they have an app that you can download as well. It's in the App Store, and I think it's in Google Play as well. Just go in there, you log in with your email address, you fill out your little bio, which I downloaded it earlier. I skipped the onboarding process because I'm a Marine. I don't like doing all that, but I'll have to go back and fill it out later. I just wanted to see how the app worked, so I could, give, talk about it like I knew what I was talking about, So downloaded that, and I should have done it the last time that he was on when the tip of the spear. But as we always know, we get busy, right? So Objective Zero, the mission, combating military and veteran suicide through a connected community of peer support and access to mental health and wellness resources powered by technology. So basically, it's at your fingertips. Everybody carries one of these things around. You know,
Yeah.
it's right there at your fingertips. Uh, all right, all right? Hey Willis, ask Sam how the K-pop was at Fort Benning. Oh man, I don't even want to know. Do I want to know?
We'll talk about it later once we
All
get
right, we'll
through with
talk about it here
Justin.
in a little bit.
Yeah.
What's going on, Top? How are you, sir? So basically, there's an app that you can download. Um, let's see, what else does it say here? We believe veteran suicide can be prevented through the simple act of listening. And we talk about that all the time, Gunny. You know, be somebody's stranger. It's
Yeah.
all about listening to people, complete strangers. Um, and I wholeheartedly believe if you go out and you see a brother, a sister, just a human in general that looks like they might be having a bad day, and you ask them, "Hey, how you doing?" and they say, "Oh, I'm hanging in there. I'm living a dream." Uh, those are red flags. Um, that's why you have to ask that next hard question. How are you really doing? And be ready for that conversation. Could be a 5-minute conversation, could be a 5-hour conversation. Heck, it could be an 8-hour conversation. You just have to be ready for that conversation. So yeah, man, I'm super excited to bring Justin up here in just a minute, and we're going to talk about Objective Zero. We're going to learn about Justin as well. I know that he's had some struggles in his life since he got, before he joined the military and then after he joined the military. So I'm super excited to learn more about Justin, and then I'm super excited to learn more about Objective Zero as well. So, Gunny, you ready? You think we're ready to bring him up?
I think we were ready 5 minutes ago before Troy brought up the hot pot thing or the K-pop thing.
All right, let's bring him up. Let's get this set up. Let's see what's going on, Justin. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Man, we are doing wonderful. First off, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come listen to me and Gunny bump our gums and kind of drag it out just a little bit. But thank you for coming on and hanging out with us.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Hey, you're welcome. If you don't mind, do me a favor and introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront Sitrep, if you don't mind.
So I'm Justin Miller. From a small town of Wheeling, Virginia. Was born and raised there. Parents divorced when I was little. So like I had my mom and my stepdad, which are big time churchgoers, and then I had my dad and my stepmom that were not so much. It's kind of like having the angel and the devil sitting on my shoulder. Between my mom and dad, life felt like I was constantly just like a chew toy that was being fought between both families. Dad went to prison when I was 4. I turned 5, did 4 years, and then when he got out, the only way he really knew how to relate or bond was with drinking and doing drugs. So it made life very, very challenging. I was a kid that was looking back at it now. I was a kid that was crying out for help. I was always in trouble at school, always just doing dumb shit. And my senior year, 9/11 happened, and it just lit a fuse that I needed to go do something. And so one day, my dad and I got into a fight because I quit moving stuff for him, and he started beating my ass. And I pinned him down, and he just kept telling me, he's like, hit me. And I was like, you're my dad. I was like, I'm not going to hit you. And he threw me off of him, and he's like, you're a goddamn idiot. If I could do it all over again, I'd have joined the military, and I'd have got the hell out of this town. And I was like, that's the best advice you've ever gave me. And went home. That was a Tuesday. I went home Tuesday, called my recruiter on Friday and was like, look, I'm ready to go. He came and picked me up Monday and just never looked back. I chose to go infantry. I wanted to be involved in the fight. My overall goal was to end up becoming a sniper. And I knew that being infantry was going to be that best opportunity for that to happen. So I went to basic in April of '03. And I was laughing when you're doing your intro and you guys were talking about Korea because I was there from September of '03 to August of '04. So I remember that chicken cheese ramen out there at the field with Ajuma serving it up. And our 30-day train up was in July. So we had that monsoon season. It just all brought back a lot of memories.
Oh, yeah.
So we were that unit that we got pulled from Korea. I was with the 1st 506, and we were training up for our EIB, and we came up one day, and then all of a sudden they called us in formation. I was like, hey, EIB's over. You guys are going home for 2 weeks. We're coming back. We're training for a month, and we're going to Iraq. We were in Albania, so I was right there beside TQ. Our sector went from the bridge that went from TQ to Albania all the way to Ramadi on Route Michigan. We kind of went there because we were told that the war was over, and we kind of had that mindset that, like, man, this is going to be a boring 12 months. And it was far from boring. My very first mission, I watched one of our guys, tanker, step out of his tank, and 155 was right beside the tank and went off. And it went from him standing there to nothing. And I was told to get out of the gun, start picking up everything I could find of him. And at that moment, it just hit me. I'm like, man, I got 12 more months of this. I'm like, I'm a dead man walking. I'm like, I don't know how anybody's even surviving this stuff. And I had to make a decision, like, well, do I worry about dying and hesitate and be scared and potentially get somebody else killed, or I just suck it up and do what I've been trained and accept that when God wants me, he's just going to take me. Deployment, we end up losing, originally 16, but look back and it was actually 19 that we lost deployment between KIAs, and we had a couple that died from suicide. Mid-November, I got hit by an IED that knocked me out, and ended up being left in the house that we raided, and came out of the house after taking pictures when I had the driver's M4 and one magazine on my chest and his magazine, so I had another 60 rounds. And I come out of this house to an alley, got 200 to 300 pissed off Iraqis because we just raided a lady's house. We put her husband in prison the week prior for making IEDs. So I had to fight my way back, and it messed me up pretty bad. Came back from that deployment and was told that I had PTSD. And when my leadership found out that I had an appointment for that, they told me not to go. They said that if I went, that my career would be over with. And I was like, well, what do I do? I'm like, the nightmares are crazy. I can't go out in public. I'm going to go in public. The anxiety is through the roof. I'm scanning everybody. I'm ready to fight anybody that's looking at me funny. I'm like, I can't figure this stuff out. And at the time, they were like, just do what we do and just grab some beer on the way home and drink till you get tired. And end up jumping into a marriage thinking that would make me normal. And put that poor girl through hell.
Yeah, that seemed to be happening a lot, going over to Iraq, Afghanistan, coming home, and leadership pulling you out of your job and putting you on a desk job or something like that, because you said you had post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury, or you were seeing the psych or whatever it was. Even if you went out in town and you tried paying out of pocket, they still reported back to medical. So it really didn't matter if you did that or not. And I watched a couple of guys get pulled from leadership positions just because of having post-traumatic stress. And they're like, well, you can't effectively train, lead, and mentor Marines, so we're going to put you in a desk job, which is not the case, right? I mean, yeah, you might be a little bit more angry sometimes. You might be a little bit more short fuse, but at the end of the day, you can still do your job. And I think it's getting better now. I mean, I can't speak on that because I'm not in anymore. But as I was transitioning out in 2011, I did see it start to get better.
Yeah, that's one thing that we were taught when we were in, from 97 to 01, and then from there on is, hey, don't report anything to medical because it's going to sideline you. And I wish I wish that didn't happen, because everybody's so scared that, hey, we're going to be sidelined, that we don't want to talk about PTS. It's that stigma. Oh, you got PTS, you're broken, or you can't function, you can't do your job properly. And I think a lot of veterans our age, we're learning now how to deal with our trauma from our military service. Like you said, you got married, and you put that lady through all kinds of heck. And I got married when I was in the military, and I should have never got married when I was in the military, because it was doomed. It was doomed from day one. With all the deployments that we did, and then all the trauma that we suffered. I was never, after our first deployment to Haiti, I wasn't the same. I wasn't the same young man that I was when I first joined after our first deployment to Haiti. And I couldn't really describe what was going on in my brain at that time, because I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was. But now, looking back 20 plus years later, it's like, oh, maybe that's why it didn't work out. And I also have to say the man upstairs had a little hand in that as well, because if I was still married to my first wife, I wouldn't be married to my current wife. I wouldn't have the life that I have now. I wouldn't have the children that I have. But even my current wife will tell you that my PTSD, my anxiety, my hypervigilance over the course of 20 years has got worse. And it's got better recently. One, because I'm going through therapy. Two, I have people that I can reach out to. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I can reach out to Gunny. Gunny and I, we met at recruit training and on the Yellow Footprints back in June 4th, 1997. And, we served together for the first 3 years. So if I got a major issue that I'm dealing with, I'm going to call Gunny and be like, hey, man, I'm struggling. And I know Gunny would be there for me, and I'd be the same for him. So it's awesome that, we have that connection. But for veterans that don't have that connection, that's where Objective Zero comes into play. So let's talk about Objective Zero a little bit. How did that come about?
So I was medically retired after almost 11 and a half years, total of 27 months in Iraq. One was at Camp Habaniya there in the Sunni Triangle from August 04 to August 05. And then October 06 to January 08. And did 3 years of recruiting, and then left recruiting to go to Fort Stewart to try to deploy one more time, because you almost become addicted to it. Like, in my mindset, mentally messed up. I'm like, if I go deploy, maybe this time I'll get killed while I'm there, and I'll go down in history as a hero, and instead of becoming a statistic. And went to Fort Stewart and trained for a year, and then ruptured a disc in my back and led to medical retirement. At that point, I thought, like, shit, I'm safe now. I don't got to worry about nothing. just got to ride out life. And then the world just came crashing down on me. You know, I was retired in August 27th of 2014. And by Thanksgiving, the VA cut me off of medication without weaning me off. I was taking Klonopin and Ritalin, and they told me I had a choice of one or the other. And so I stuck with the Ritalin because of the brain injury that kind of kept me on track. And the Klonopin coming off of it, the detox of it was just unreal. The nightmares became more realistic more often. They were so real that I was afraid to go to sleep. I would sit there and I'd watch TV till I'd fall asleep. I'd wake up completely soaked. I'd turn the TV back on and try to stay awake because the nightmares were just killing me. So right before Thanksgiving, I had the nightmare when I got left behind, and instead of me getting back my people as I came around the corner where my last gunner saw me and yelled from the stop, instead of me turning and the gunshot snapping past my head, I got butt stroked. And when I thought I woke up, I was laying there in bed and was trying to clear my vision. But as I was blinking my eyes, I fell back asleep, and I was now sitting in a chair bound to it with a camera in front of me, which was my worst nightmare coming true. And in the nightmare, they decapitated me. And I woke up and I couldn't breathe, ran to the bathroom, started throwing up, and I was just sitting there losing it. And I went and sat on the edge of my bed, and I was like, you know what, screw this. I just can't do this anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. And I grabbed my pistol. And the first thought that went through my head is I don't want to pull this trigger twice. So I checked the chamber. And when I realized that the chamber was empty, the next thought through my head was, well, if I rack around this chamber, it's going to wake my wife up. And she's going to ask questions. And I'm going to have to talk. And I was afraid of sharing anything with her. So I went and sat on the couch and tried to deal with it on my own. But every time that nightmare would come back, I would start hyperventilating. I would just start breaking down crying and just lose. So I reached out to the VA and I was like, look, I about killed myself this morning. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm falling apart. I'm a mess. I'm like, and another night like last night, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. So they put me on hold for about 5 or 10 minutes, and they came back and they're like, all right, we got you an appointment scheduled for Friday. And I'm like, ma'am, I just told you I couldn't handle one more night. I'm like, so you gave me 2 nights to call bullcrap on it. Like, I thanks a lot, and I just hung up. Well, a buddy of mine at the time was Captain Chris Mercado, or maybe he might have been Major at that time, but he saw my spiral going on social media, and so he reached out to me. And we sat on the phone for like 6 hours, and he just listened to what it was I was dealing with, you know, just hearing me out, wasn't judging me, wasn't, you know, talking down to me at all, was just very supportive. That's when we realized that just the simple act of listening and having somebody who can just relate could potentially save a life. And he told me that I needed to get my story written and get it out there, that it was gonna save lives. So we got it published. It's on Strategy Bridge or Medium.com. It's titled "The Human Cost of War: Justin Miller's Story." And originally he told me, he said, you know, it's about a 30-minute read. He said, so expect maybe 200 to 300 people to read this. He said, but you know, that's 200 to 300 lives that you positively affected. And it got published. It was like a Thursday, and I didn't get the message until late that night. So I called him on Friday, and I was like, hey, how's it going? He's like, dude, you're not going to believe it. He's like, but we're already over 1,000 readers. Okay. And by the end of the weekend, we was at 5,000 readers. And I started getting messages like, hey, my kid or my family members have served, and thanks to your story, I don't know what it is they're dealing with. Or it would be veterans reaching out saying, hey, I was alone last night and I found your story and I read it, and now that I know I'm not alone, it's like that got me through the night. And a guy from Georgetown University, he read it and he's like, originally he's like, I got this idea. It was kind of like Yelp for veterans, where we could rate the VA to kind of show the public what it was that the VA was doing or not doing. But we realized that causing more divide in our nation was not what was needed. So we needed to come up with a solution instead. And we realized that a lot of veterans or a lot of service members were afraid to get help because of the fear of it possibly ruining their career. And we realized that, did research and found out that when most veterans do decide to take their life, that they usually do it within the first 5 minutes. So like, man, we need to use technology to allow instant and anonymous connection in that time of need.
Yeah, that's something that I like, that it's anonymous, you know. So if I reach out on there, uh, and I'm struggling with whatever, and I'm talking with somebody, and the good thing about your app is it's a lot of veterans that are on the other side of that. It's not, you know, a civilian that hasn't been in the situation that Gunny or I or you have been in. If I remember correctly from when you were talking about the app, it's not like the veteran crisis line. You know, you dial 988*1. You might get somebody who's a veteran on the other end, but you might not. And with the app, it's anonymous, but more than likely, you're going to get a veteran. I think 100%, right? 100% veteran on the other end that responds to you.
So we wanted to bridge the gap between the military veterans and civilians, you know, because all these civilians come up to you and they want to thank you for your service because that's just what they know. So we wanted to give them the opportunity to also be there and listen and hear what it is we're dealing with. But like you said, a veteran in crisis, they reach out to the Veterans Crisis Line, they get whoever answers. Well, with MST going on, we're like, you know, if a female has been assaulted by a male and they call the crisis line because they're in one of their moments, and a male answers the phone, we're like, open up. 9 times out of 10, they're going to crawl deeper into a hole and feel more isolated. So we said that the user is all that really mattered, that we put all the power in the user's hands. So you can filter it, whether you want to talk to a male or a female, whether you want to talk to whatever branch, whether they're active or whether they served in Iraq or Afghanistan or, you know, Vietnam. We wanted them to be able to find somebody who walked, talked, tasted, and heard the same stuff, because we knew that if they found somebody like that, that the chances of that instant camaraderie would be more likely, and they would feel a lot more comfortable opening up and actually having a solid conversation.
Yeah, I definitely love that.
Yeah, that's cool to be able to filter the person you want to chat with, because it does give you a much better connection with the person that you're having the discussion with, for sure, instead of calling and just getting some rando person that, you know, is going to sometimes just read a script, right? But when you log into the app and you put your filters in there, and now you go on the app and you're like, hey, I need to talk to somebody, and they look at you look at the filters this person has, you put them in touch with a Marine veteran that served roughly like the 05, 06 time frame, that, you know, had similar experiences in this similar area. That makes it more apt for that veteran to open up to whoever they're talking with.
Exactly.
So I'm on the website, which is objectivezero.org. That's objective zero with the word zero written out .org. And across the top, I see about, get cover, provide cover, get the app, donate. So let's say you got people out here that are, you know, watching this now or going to watch it later, or they're listening to it. If somebody wanted to be part of this, not just saying donation wise, but let's say Gunny and I, we decide we want to be part of this, and we want to be somebody's battle buddy. Like if somebody calls in and they want to talk to Marines that were in Haiti and kind of know the situation, what happened in Haiti with the stuff that we saw there. How would somebody go about becoming part of the team?
So when you go on the app, you'll see on there that it'll ask you if you want to become a Pathfinder. Pathfinders are those that have been through training in suicide prevention. There's multiple levels. There's multiple courses that you can actually go through on the app. It's down in the resource tab. But you sign up to become a Pathfinder, and to be able to answer calls, there's like a 10-question quiz just to make you, immediately available to start talking to people. And then you can sign like when I was struggling, it was in the middle of the night. So we wanted to make it so those people that sign up to become Pathfinders, they put their time slots on there. So if you work a night job and you're available to answer the call from midnight to 8 in the morning, you can put your time on there. So the app's live. So if you get on the app and you go to click on somebody, that means that person has agreed to be available at that time. So you set your own schedule of when you're capable of answering calls. We require or request that you do at least an hour or so a week to be available. But you can kind of build your own schedule and kind of work around your free time.
That's what I love about it. It's live. It's 24/7. There's always going to be somebody available, depending on like your like my schedule. Like if I wake up at 0:30 and be like, man, that I woke up from a night tremor and I'm struggling, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna open up the app and see who's available to talk. Maybe some Marine or somebody's on it. Somebody's on there that I can reach out to and just say, hey, this is what I got going on. That's what I love about it. Even though like the 988's 24/7, but the thing with that is you never know who you're going to get, and I might not like that person's personality, so I'm going to disconnect and be like, no, I don't want to talk to you. But so with your app, like you said, you get to filter, everything that you don't like about somebody or something, and you can more than likely going to get somebody that you can build that instant bond with, because we know as veterans a lot of times we make that instant bond with other veterans. Like I could meet you out in a bar or out at a park and have that instant bond, um, which is what I like about the app for sure. Um, so
and that usually happens after a crayon comment or something too. So I mean that just makes it even better, right?
Right. Now do you guys just focus on the veteran, the like active duty and veterans, or do you guys incorporate the families into it as well?
No, we do incorporate families. We realize that a lot of times a parent, a spouse, or even a child will recognize a downward spiral before us veterans are willing to admit that we're struggling. So we made it available to the families there also, that they can log on and say, my dad's struggling right now. I need help. We've had people that I've met on TikTok that somebody was struggling, and the person introduced them to the Objective Zero app, and that person, not waiting to see if they downloaded the app, went ahead and got on and said, hey, I have a veteran who's struggling. Can I get somebody to connect with that person? And they exchanged their information and got them on the phone. And the veteran actually came back and told him, like, hey, I want to thank you, because the recommendation in that call you gave me, it was the most connected call that I've had, and it absolutely saved my life. So yeah, we realized that it takes all of us to make a difference. We
I think it means more.
service.
I think it means more too when someone's reaching out to you to check on you, right? Instead of you making that phone call or that text or whatever, saying, "Hey, I need help," right? Yes, you're asking for help. I get it, but when someone calls you and says, "Hey, how you doing today?" Just checking in on you, make sure you're good, make sure you're all right. And then, later down the road, maybe like, "Hey, your daughter gave me your number to call, said you were doing really well, and let's just chat," type deal. And it's like, oh man, if she's noticing it, right? Or if my son's noticing it, my wife's noticing it, it's being noticed outside of just your little OODA loop here. And it's just one of those things that I know that I got a phone call one day and I was having a bad day, and my son texts somebody. He's like, "Hey, call dad real quick." And it's like, "Hey, you want to go fishing?" I'm like, I want to go fishing. Yeah, I always want to go fishing. Yeah. And then while we were on the boat, the conversation came up. "Hey, just want to let you know I got a text, and that's why I invited you to go fishing." So yeah, it's just, I think it makes people more appreciative that other people out there looking out for you.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I mean, that's what I like I said. That's what I love about it is, you can incorporate the family. Like if my daughters see that I'm struggling with whatever, like my anger's getting bad, or my hypervigilance or my anxiety, whatever is getting out of line, they can call the number 202-573-9660 and say, "Hey, my dad's struggling," or they can log into the app and reach out to somebody and say, "Hey, my dad's struggling. Can you call him?" Because that's something that a lot of the nonprofits out there, like if I go to a nonprofit, right, and I go up and it's not working for me, right, and I go up to the board member or the founder and say, "Hey, I love what you guys are doing, but this is not working for me." Well, a lot of times that board member or the founders will be like, "Well, I don't know how to help you." Well, in this case, you know, you guys, you reach out to that veteran. So if somebody goes to you and says, "Hey, I got this veteran, he's struggling," you guys are going to reach out to, or somebody's going to reach out to that veteran instead of, like saying, "Well, I don't know how to help you." That's, dude, that's phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we brainstormed for probably close to 6 months of where are these gaps, where are these loopholes that a veteran could possibly be falling through, and how can we fill that gap to that safety net to cover every possible circumstance that we would come across. So we had a pretty solid team. There's it was myself, I was the only veteran, and then we had a captain who was in the Army, a captain who was in the Marine Corps, or a major that was in the Army who was my leadership, and then his wife. So we had the full circle. We had all parts of the world of kind of understanding from the veteran side, the service side, and the family side, and we just spent hours upon hours of just trying to figure this out, and it's been a blessing. I mean, now we're close to 50,000 people using the app. It's been used every day since it's been released, which we released Christmas of 2017. So it's when I do start struggling, one of the ways I remind myself of my need is I just open the app and I look and I'm like, man, this here is now in the hands of almost 50,000 people that potentially could have been, part of the statistic, and that kind of just pulls me out of my slump.
Yeah, you got people all over the nation that are, I guess, answering the calls or making the calls to the veterans. Or are you guys more central in one location?
No, we actually went worldwide within the first month.
Wow, so that's awesome.
Every military installation's covered. We're all over the U.S. We have it set up so your GPS location could be used for your benefit. So if you decide you want to reach out to somebody close enough that you could possibly meet up with, or just whoever. But the GPS location comes within like a certain range of your house or where you're located. And then there's
Oh,
the
yeah, that's
option
awesome.
where you can like pinpoint your location. If we decide like, hey, this person, they need 911, and we talk to them and say, we're going to connect you with 911 to get you even more help. Is that okay? And they agree to it. There's an option on the app where you can click on there and it'll connect them, and then it pinpoints their location to where they can track them down and get them the help they need.
Heck yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that's awesome. So I want to talk numbers on because this is something super cool. So on the website, if you go to about you can see the 2019 impact and the 2020 impact. So I'm just going to shoot some numbers out here. So in 2019, 7,300 lives impacted, right? 11 times grow, 11, 11 times growth, 19,950 texts, 1,598 hours, right? And then let's go to 2020, because I think this is something to show that what you guys have is working, right? So in 2020, let's go down here. All right, 2020 impact metrics: 5,678 community member downloaded, 2,265 user connected to resources, 4,665 peer support connections, 9,722 numbers of users on the platform. And then you've already said that that's went to 50,000 plus, right? 32,128 text conversations exchanged, 6,506 users connected to activities, 615 ambassadors trained, 194 hours of voice and video connection, and 500,000 plus caring messages sent. That's just the growth between 2019 and 2020. That's friggin' astronomical, man. That's friggin' phenomenal. And I'd
Well, and
love,
it just shows that the everything they put in place is working because 2020 we were all shut in, all the gyms
yeah,
closed, all the open spaces closed, all this other stuff, and people needed a resource, right? They needed
yeah,
something that they could turn to, and watching that growth from 19 to 20 is just proving that honest what Justin and them have in place is working,
yeah,
and for the purpose it was meant to work.
yeah.
Yep.
So I'd love to see
Yeah, the numbers are
2025.
the numbers are crazy.
Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I was saying that the just seeing the growth of it is just it's overwhelming at times. I mean, it's comforting. It's just crazy to know that there's that many of us that have been struggling, and now because of what we created, it's right there at the tip of their fingers. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah, yeah. I guarantee it. I mean, like I said, I started talking to you a while back, and when you were talking about the mission of Objective Zero, I was like, man, this is phenomenal. And then diving deep into what you guys are doing and seeing the growth. And like Gunny said, during COVID, that was really rough on a lot of veterans out there because we were so used to going out and having that camaraderie with our brothers and sisters. Well, in 2020 during COVID, we couldn't. We were stuck at home. We were dealing with our demons kind of on our own. Where in this situation, if I had known about Objective Zero in 2020 or 2019, I could have downloaded it then and could have been part of the community then, and probably been able to deal with the spiral that I was going in 2020 because I resigned from the nonprofit, the last nonprofit that I worked for, and felt betrayed by that nonprofit. And I went down a rabbit hole, and until my wife literally kicked me in my butt one day and said, "Hey, you need to do something." And that's kind of when we decided to do the podcast, and then still procrastinated. Like I bought the stuff for it and had the group created and had everything ready to go, and like just procrastinated and got in my own head. And um finally, I was like, all right, I got to do something. My wife, was threatening to divorce me, and I needed to do something because I was an asshole. I was a complete asshole to my wife. I really, and looking back, I can't say it was wholeheartedly 100% my fault, but it was my fault because I wasn't dealing with my demons properly, and I didn't have that outlet. Uh, I didn't know about Objective Zero, so I think if I had, I think it would have been um, probably easier on me because I could have reached out to other like-minded veterans. Because Gunny and I, we hadn't really reconnected back in 2020. We didn't reconnect until 2022, I guess it was,
Something like that, yeah.
roughly 21, 22. And but that's super cool that you guys have created this, and your growth has grown exponentially since you created it, and it's impacted so many veterans and families out there. That's super cool, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, there's
So
like I was talking a little bit about earlier, like the resources too. We wanted to make like a one-stop shop. So it's not only a place where you can reach out and get instant help, but there's also resources on there that, if you need a service dog, there's organizations that we partnered with that we have vetted to make sure that they're doing their job to help people get service animals. There's fishing and hunting trips. There's veteran retreats. There's resources for family members so they can gain education and understanding of what it is that's going on. Um, and then transitioning resources. So if someone's getting out and they're not sure what they're going to do next, we got veteran organizations that teach you how to code, or we can send you to a business school to gain knowledge and transition into another career. So that way you don't feel like your sense of purpose is gone. You can move on to the next thing.
heck
Heck
yeah.
yeah, that's
So
awesome that you have those at you guys' disposal for the veteran and the family, because there's a lot of places that, and Willis has done it here too. So everybody that has been on the podcast, on our webpage, it's broken down to musicians and authors and comedians and, the nonprofits that have been here. But, a lot of nonprofits don't want to list other nonprofits because they think it's taken away from them, right? But not every single nonprofit is for every single person, right? What works for me doesn't work for you type deal. And, if you're struggling with a nonprofit and it's not for you, find another one that you think, or, reach out to Justin and Objective Zero. They might be able to point you in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Justin, real quick, because we're running short on time. If somebody wanted to donate to your mission to help carry on Objective Zero, what's the best option, best route for them to help or donate to you guys?
Go to objectivezero.org. We don't have it on the app. We didn't want people to use the app and feel obligated to donate. We want anybody to feel like they had to pay to save their own life. So the objectivezero.org is the best place to go to donate.
Awesome. Well, Justin, I want to say thank you again for coming on and hanging out with us, and talking about you and your trauma, and then also talking about Objective Zero and the impact that it has had on veterans since, you guys created it, and the growth that you guys have seen since, when from the conception to current day. Um, what you guys, like Gunny said, what you guys have created, it's working, and it's helping save our brothers and sisters out there from succumbing to their demons. I mean, dude, it's amazing, and we're gonna follow your journey, and I I'd love to. I'm gonna look in there, and I'm gonna look at doing some of the courses on, and probably become a pathfinder, just so, because that's one of my missions. My one thing that keeps me awake at night is missing that one veteran, and if I can help somebody during the day or on the weekend, mm, I'm there. I'm there for it. So I'm definitely going to look into doing that and doing some courses and stuff. And then I might even look at some of the resources on how to learn how to code. That's something I've always been interested in, is learning how to code. So we'll see how it all plays out, man. It's friggin' amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on here and giving me the opportunity to share.
Hey, you're very, very welcome. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drop you down in the green room. You can hang around if you want to, and we can talk to you after we end the show. Um, or you can go ahead and go spend time with your family, because I know you're at the ballpark. So thank you again, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. I look forward to seeing how it all works out for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, dude. How cool was that, Gunny?
How long have we been saying that there needs to be something in place where people can go and have all these resources at the touch of their finger?
We've been saying it for a long time.
And right, so we've been saying it for a long time, and this has been around since 2017 when they launched it. Up until it got put on our calendar, I had no clue.
Yeah,
I mean, and how many people out there still have no clue?
Yeah, and that's the thing about HomeFront Sitrep is we find organizations and things, nonprofits that people don't know about, and we highlight them. That's what we do, and that's what I love about doing this podcast, is finding those organizations that are doing amazing things that people in Maine, the people in Washington State or California or Florida don't know about. So that's and they're worldwide.
Even the guys and girls that are stationed in Korea, in Okinawa, in Japan, in Europe, and wherever, right? They all have this still at the touch of their finger, just by downloading the Objective Zero app.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be messaging my nephew who's deployed, and say, hey, you need to download this app, and you need to tell your unit mates, hey, download this app, because I think it will help them, being active duty service members, that if they're struggling because they're missing, their children back home, or their wives back home, or whatever, or whoever they're missing, they could reach out to, either an active duty service member who's a pathfinder, or a veteran who's a pathfinder, and hopefully get them through the deployment, because we know you and I know how rough it is on deployments. If you're missing, well, I wasn't married when I was in, but you're missing being home, you're homesick, you're missing your family, which is super hard. And then if you get in trouble, like if you run your mouth and you're a smart mouth and you get in a lot of trouble while you're in the military, then that struggle is real. People are like, oh, well, I'm not good enough to be here, and then unfortunately, that's why a lot of active duty service members commit suicide, is because they feel like they don't belong in the community that they're in, and there needs to be the outlet. And like I said, I wish I had known about this back in 2019, 2020, but I didn't. But now that we're able to get that information out there, and get it to the masses, man, it's phenomenal.
Absolutely, it is.
So, guys, ladies, gents, if you're watching now, you're watching later, you're listening, whether you're listening on Race Across America radio on Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, go to www.objectivezero, spell out zero.org, and check it out. Or you can go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, download Objective Zero, the app, and get connected with this great organization, great app.
Great
Go check it out.
resource.
Great resource. Yes, definitely a great resource. Uh, man, I hate to say it. I hate to do it, and I probably could talk to Justin for another 2 hours about this because it's phenomenal. I'm still in the word of Al Hero from Triple Threat. It's freaking phenomenal, um, dude. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look more, dive more into the app. I'm going to talk to my wife and kids about it. Say, hey, download this app and let them navigate it as well. Because, like you said earlier, we as veterans sometimes don't want to say, hey, we're struggling. Your spouse, your kids are going to see it before you do. So let them know about the app and say, hey, if I'm struggling, connect me with somebody, get me connected. So yeah, Gunny, this is you, my friend.
Yeah, you're not alone. You still have worth. You still have value. Surround yourself with people that are going to build you up, not tear you down. Don't let the dark days win. And you don't have to be a product of your surroundings. And now that you have the Objective Zero app downloaded on your phone, you're definitely not alone.
Mm, mm. This right here, Gunny says it best, but I'm going to throw this out there too. In the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you are deeply held in the hearts of others. You are not alone. Man, this right here, we talked about it earlier in the episode. Hashtag be somebody's stranger. Look, we as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. And we were just talking about it. This is what this app is. It's a bunch of strangers. You can do it anonymously. You don't have to say, "Hey, this I'm who I am." But be somebody's stranger. What I mean by that is, if you're out and about and you see somebody, it looks like they're having a bad day. Go up to them, say, "Hey, how you doing?" If they say, "I'm living a dream. I'm hanging in there. I'm okay," the red flags. Ask the next hard question: how are you really doing? Be ready for that conversation. It could be a 5-minute conversation, could be a 6-hour conversation. You have to be ready for that. And don't try to fix that person. Just listen. Sometimes that's all we need is somebody to listen to us. We don't want to be fixed. We just want somebody to listen and let our demons out because that's all we need sometimes.
Yeah, and it takes a village. Use your people. Use the app. Include Objective Zero into your village. That way, if you are struggling, you do have somebody to reach out to, and somebody will be available during your time of need.
Yeah, make it your part of your tribe. Yeah, make it part of your tribe.
Because all of us, right, out there helping people. We need to take a break too, right? We get the mental fatigue, we get compassion fatigue, and two broke people can't fix each other. Two wrongs don't make a right. And with this app, there's always somebody 24/7 that's available to take your message, your call, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you follow Objective Zero on all their social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere that they are. I think they're listed on their website. If I remember correctly, you can go connect with them on there. You can also sign up for email updates at the bottom. Like if you scroll to any bottom of any page, you can sign up for updates. Want to give a big shout out to our partners. Uh, Heroes Media Group, Mr. Adam Bird with Heroes Media Group has been one of our biggest supporters when it comes to doing what we do at HomeFront Sitrep. Then Reese Across America Radio, Jeff Pierce. Gunny and I met him in person in Louisville a couple months back. They supported
February, March.
Yeah, I think it was February. It was cold. It was still cold outside, if I remember correctly. But they've been one of our biggest supporters. We are on ReachAcrossAmericaRadio.org/radio on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. So you can find us on there. Then I want to give a big shout out to Military United Podcast Streams, Elite Engraving for this amazing, amazing hat. Same flag, same oath for this amazing shirt. Marine It Down. It's a play on Keep It Simple, Stupid. So I want to give them a big shout out. So you can go to sameflagsameoath.com. You can check out all the shirts and hats and stuff that Matt and Becky Johnson have on their website. They have a bunch of co-branded shirts with nonprofits that they support. So yeah, go check out sameflagsameoath.com. Also check out HomeFrontSitrep.com. You can see all the nonprofits, veteran business owners, comedians, singers, authors. You can see the whole plethora of authors here behind me. And then I also want to give a big shout out to Brent Casey with Valor Coins and Pins. They make amazing, amazing coins. And their mission is to help support the Woody Williams Foundation, which is an amazing organization that focuses on Gold Star families. So yeah, definitely go check them out. Gunny, I hate to say it, brother, but it is that time of night, my friend.
It is, but we'll be back next Sunday or this Sunday, depending on how you start your week, right? So next Sunday, we'll be back with the Call of Duty endowment, and then Monday night with the SOF missions. So yeah, 7 p.m. on Sunday and 7 p.m. on Monday, both Eastern time.
Yes, sir. And Sunday will be our 200th episode. Not officially, but it's our 200th episode, if that makes sense. We have a bunch of episodes that didn't transfer over. I think it's our 200th video episode.
200th video episode.
Yeah, I think it's our 200th video episode. So make sure you tune in on Sunday, the 20th, for the Call of Duty endowment, and then on Monday for the SOF missions. It's super great organizations. They do amazing things. I can't wait to have them on. Make sure, like I said, go follow Objective Zero on all their platforms. Go to their website, download the app, get connected. You never know, it might save somebody's life. So
might be yours.
Might be yours. But like we always say on HomeFront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got your six.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.